Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how everyone finally find out the truth that Rishi slept with Malishka, even though we viewers we know that that is a lie, right? Then Neelam blamed Lakshmi for not telling them on time. You know, every wrong thing that happened is always because of Lakshmi to Neelam. So let's continue from there. Lakshmi hugged Shalu and cried after she returned from Malishka's house. Shalu made Lakshmi swear and asked her to tell her what happened. Lakshmi says Sonal took me to Malishka's house and tells me that Malishka attempted to commit suicide after Rishi refused to marry her, and she tells Shalu everything that happened, and Shalu is shocked. Shalu tells Lakshmi that brother-in-law cannot do this and says this is a misunderstanding. She says you know brother-in-law very well, even more than me. Lakshmi says I have seen it with my eyes. I saw Rishi and Malishka together on bed. Shalu says you have misunderstood what you saw. She says my heart says that something is wrong and brother-in-law cannot do this and says you are having a misunderstanding. Lakshmi says to Shalu that Rishi has confessed to this, that he has done this. She says this is the reason for our divorce. It was Rishi's mistake. Shalu asks, did you talk to brother-in-law about it? Lakshmi says, when I have seen it with my eyes, then what more do I want to hear? She says she wants Rishi to marry Malishka and Rishi should never betray Malishka after taking her pride away. Shalu says Rishi is your husband. Lakshmi says our relationship is over and Shalu says there is surely some conspiracy behind this. Malishka tells Sonal that she will get Rishi anyhow, now that the entire family knows what Rishi did to her. Sonal says she wanted to tell everyone that the marriage should happen immediately, but then she stopped, thinking that everyone would doubt them, so your mom would handle the rest. Malishka says I will marry Rishi and says I don't know what my mom is thinking, but I will marry Rishi and I cannot leave him even if I have to pay any price for him. Balwinder looks at the wedding card of Lakshmi and him because he printed the wedding card already and says he would destroy Rano's plan of getting a marriage proposal for Lakshmi. Balwinder says that he will tell the priest that Lakshmi is his wife and he will threaten the priest. He says he has done many sins with Malishka. Now he will get Lakshmi and Malishka will get Rishi. He says he will use all means, by hook or by crook, but he will get Lakshmi. Ayush comes to his room and says Rishi can never do this, but Lakshmi's sister-in-law said it. He thinks that it is 100% misunderstanding because Rishi can never do this and he thinks that what is happening. Shalu thinks that what happened to my sister? Why can't Lakshmi understand that this is a misunderstanding? And why did brother-in-law also accept that he did this? And she thinks to call Ayush. Ayush says to himself that my heart knows that Rishi can never do this. There is something wrong 100%. Shalu calls Ayush and they both say to each other at the same time that Rishi cannot do this. Shalu says my heart is saying that brother-in-law cannot do this. Ayush says even he feels the same. And Shalu says Lakshmi is not agreeing that this is a misunderstanding. Shalu says to Ayush that we now know the reason for Rishi and Lakshmi's divorce and now we can do something. Ayush says this is the reason. Shalu says if this reason is wrong and brother-in-law did not do anything to Malishka, then Rishi and Lakshmi can get back together. Ayush says our aim is to prove that this is wrong and I swear that I will prove that this is wrong. Malishka asks Sonal if they should tell her mom that it is just a drama for her marriage. Sonal says your mom is not trustable. We cannot take that risk. Malishka says what do I do? My mom is not telling me anything and she is not supporting me like before. Kiran comes there and says she has decided. Malishka asks what did you decide? And Sonal also asks that what has Kiran decided? Sonal asks Kiran if she has decided that Rishi and Malishka's marriage should happen or not. Kiran says no and then says that the marriage should happen at the earliest and Malishka gets happy and she hugs Kiran. Sonal says Rishi should get married to Malishka for his punishment, but Kiran says Rishi should marry Malishka for love. Kiran says to Sonal and Malishka that if Rishi marries Malishka due to punishment, then he cannot fulfill the relationship that is required to sustain a marriage with Malishka, but if he gets married to Malishka for love, then he will take good care of her daughter. Sonal says Rishi had sacrificed his love to fulfill his marriage with Lakshmi, even though he doesn't love Lakshmi. She says he loves Malishka. Kiran says I want my daughter's happiness. Malishka says I will be happy and alive if I marry Rishi. Kiran says I will tell Neelam that marriage is the solution. Sonal asks Kiran to talk to Rishi personally and make Rishi realize his love for Malishka, and Kiran says okay. Karishma says Rishi haven't come till now, and even Ayush is not here. Ayush comes there and says Rishi is not picking his call. Devika asks if Rishi is fine. Grandma says Rishi might be regretting, and that is why he is hiding his face. Virendra says if Rishi wanted to do penance, then he would have come here and accepted his sin. Virendra says that he is feeling ashamed and sad to know that Rishi is his son. Ayush asks, should I go and look for Rishi? Karishma says yes, and Ayush thinks that he would go and talk to Rishi first, and he will know what is going on about this serious allegation. Karishma asks Neelam not to torture herself and says what is done is done. She says maybe it happened in some weak moment because we all know that Rishi and Malishka have good values and they know their limits. Karishma says to Neelam that Rishi is your son, your only son, so don't punish him and don't throw him out of the house for this. Rano asks Shalu to clean the house fast. She asks Bani to keep the stuff in the room. She asks her to use the air freshener for good impression. She says why has Lakshmi haven't come till now? And just then, Lakshmi brings the snacks and the food. Rano asks Lakshmi to tell the groom's family that the food is made by Neha. Bani says Neha would be exposed after the marriage because they will realize that she cannot cook. Rano says but the marriage would have happened. She says nobody take divorce due to inability to cook, and Shalu sprays the room with air freshener. The priest knocks on the door. Rano asks Lakshmi to open the door. Lakshmi opens the door. Rano asks the priest to sit. The priest asks Rano if she sent Lakshmi's picture. Rano says she has sent Neha's picture. The priest says he will see her if she is good for a big house. Rano tells the priest that her daughter made all the snacks, and the priest asks her to call her daughter. Bani comes to Neha and asks her to get ready. Neha thinks that why should I go for the drama? Bani says you are getting the guy that you want. Neha says she would come as she is. Ayush gets down from his car and walks on the road. He thinks that where is Rishi, and he asks God to take care of him. He sees Rishi sitting under a tree by the side of the road holding a wine bottle. He thinks that thank God that Rishi is safe, but he gets shocked to see Rishi's state. Ayush sees Rishi sitting under the tree by the side of the road. Rishi says you have come. Please scold me, because everyone has scolded me, so you too should scold me. Ayush says I came here to take you home, because everyone is worried and I was worried too. He asks him to come. Rishi says, do you know that Lakshmi left me because I have given her pain? And Ayush looks on. Rishi says to Ayush that I was thinking if I can do this and stoop to that level. Ayush says you are drunk right now and you are saying this, but I know that you cannot do this. Rishi says why would Malishka lie about this being a woman, and Lakshmi can never lie too, and Lakshmi in fact saw Malishka and me on the bed together. Rishi says I am a disgusting person and he cried. Ayush says you cannot be bad and wrong. He says you haven't done anything. Rishi says I have done everything. I have betrayed Lakshmi. I played with Malishka's respect and I took advantage of her. I hurt mom, and do you still feel that I haven't done anything? Lakshmi asks the priest to tell them something about the guy that he got for Neha. The priest tells them that the guy's family is rich, but the guy lives on his own end money and he wants a girl with good values, even if the girl is from a poor family, and Rano calls Bani. Rishi says to Ayush that mom slapped me, but it hurt in my heart, and how can I wipe that pain even though it doesn't show, but I can feel it. Rishi asks Ayush that do you have any remedy for my pain? Ayush cried and says you have to show some courage and then everything will be fine. Rishi says it is easy to say, but how will it happen? Bani brings Neha. Rano asks Neha to greet the priest. Bani tells Lakshmi that Neha was not getting ready, but I made her get ready a bit. The priest tells them that the guy is okay even if the girl is not educated. Neha says if you want, then I can show you my degree. The priest says the alliance will be fixed. Balwinder comes there and tells the priest that he got his horoscope done, and he tells him that the girl for whom he has come is his wife, and everyone is shocked. The priest asks Rano if she is betraying him. Rano says Balwinder has come for Lakshmi and not for Neha. Balwinder says Lakshmi is his wife. Shalu scold Balwinder, and Balwinder tells the priest that Shalu is his sister-in-law. Ayush asks Rishi to come home with him. Rishi asks that what will I do by going there, because Lakshmi is not there and Lakshmi has left me, and he cried again. Ayush says to Rishi that my uncle, Auntie Neelam, Grandma and everyone are waiting for you. Rishi says everyone must be sad. I would have embarrassed everyone. He says if Lakshmi would have been here with me, then she would have become my shield and she wouldn't have let anything happen to me, and I would have been fine even if Lakshmi scolded me. He says when my savior has left me, then who will save me? And he cried again. Rano tells Balwinder that the priest has brought alliance for Neha. Balwinder asks the priest to get Lakshmi married to him and says we love each other. Shalu asks Balwinder to leave. Rano also asks Balwinder to leave, and Shalu and Rano push Balwinder outside. The priest says, I thought this is a well-cultured house, but I was wrong. He asks Rano to get Lakshmi married to Balwinder, and then he will think about Neha's marriage with the rich guy, and everyone is shocked. The priest says to Rano that I don't hide anything from anyone, and I have to tell them that a goon wants to marry your daughter, and you have to let Balwinder marry your older daughter, because he might cause trouble for Neha and her husband if he doesn't marry Lakshmi before Neha's marriage, and the priest leaves while Rano pretends to stop him. Rishi tells Ayush that his pain is not getting less, and Ayush consoles him. Rano asks the priest to hear her. The priest asks Rano to get Lakshmi married to Balwinder so that Neha's marriage can happen successfully, and he goes. Neha says, OMG, first I was doubtful about the guy, but he is a lottery and I will go abroad. She says my life will be ruined and says I beg in front of you, get me married to the guy. Ayush brings Rishi home. Rishi falls on Virendra because he is drunk, but Virendra pushes him away and Ayush holds him before he falls. Rishi says, sorry, I had fallen. Virendra says, you are falling so low and I cannot lift you. Ayush says, uncle, he is Rishi. Virendra scolds Rishi and says, you have put burden on my shoulder and you put my head down in front of everyone. Virendra says to Rishi that I was proud of you and I thought that you would take our names to the greater height, but I was wrong. He says, thank God that Malishka did not file a case against you, else you would have been in jail by now for molesting the poor girl, and Rishi looks on in shock. Neha asks Rano to imagine that she would have a happy life with the rich guy, and she asks her to get her married to that guy. Rano asks if I should get Lakshmi married to Balwinder, because this is the only way the priest can allow the rich guy to marry Neha. Shalu says Lakshmi is already married. Neha says but Lakshmi is divorced and she can marry someone else now, and Lakshmi is shocked. Virendra tells Rishi about how Neelam is feeling and says that he is feeling ashamed to say that Rishi Oberoi is his son, and says he has ended his father and son's relationship with him. Neelam also says that her mother and son's relationship has ended with Rishi too, and everyone is shocked. Neelam asks Virendra that why are you talking to him? See his condition. He might not even understand what you are even saying because he is drunk. Rishi says I drank thinking that my pain would be less, but it increased. He says I am getting mad thinking that how did it happen, but the mistake has happened, and he asks them to forgive him. Rishi cried and he asked Neelam and Virendra not to break their relationship with him. He cried and he asked Neelam not to keep him away from her because he knows that she loves him a lot. He tried to hold Virendra, but Virendra moves away and Rishi goes to Neelam, but Neelam also turned her face away and she cried, while Rishi also cried bitterly. Anyone can just imagine that this Konkolo Malishka can give pain to a lot of people. I like the fact that Neelam is crying. I want her to cry. I like her tears. But giving pain to Rishi, even Rishi is supposed to cry small because he's very stupid. And then the only person that is not supposed to cry is Lakshmi. Lakshmi, Virendra and Grandma and Ayush, Shalu and others. But anyways, it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all again tomorrow with another update on Unfortunate Love. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.